Session with service chiefs to February 13. Ministers, FIRS, CBN Governor pledged to address high cost of living. And bill for Electoral Act amendment scales second reading in House of Reps. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Sibisola Hatigun. The absence of the country's defense ministers and the National Security Advisor has stalled a briefing session between the Senate and military chiefs meeting over the spike in insecurity in the country. The Senate had to adjourn the briefing to February 13, 2024 in a bid to accommodate everyone involved in the management of security in the country. The military chiefs had been summoned by the Senate to answer questions and give account of efforts put in place to checkmate the security challenges in the country. The upper chamber suspended its rules to host the military chiefs and special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on National Assembly matters, Senator Abdullahi Gumel. Motion to adjourn the security briefing was moved by the leader of the Senate, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, and seconded by the minority leader of the Senate, Abba Moro.
Going by the resolution of this hallowed chamber, that nothing can be more important at this time to warrant our discussion, time, and attention than the issue of the state of security in the Nigerian nation. I stand to move that this chamber stand adjourned till Tuesday, the 13th of February, when we are going to be taking on the security chiefs. Mr. President, I so move.
Whilst we welcome you, we believe that the team is not yet complete. So I don't know whether the Senate will want to proceed. But my personal opinion will be that we would like to have also with you in attendance the Chief of Defense Staff. Is it the view of the Senate? We would like also to have the National Security Advisor in attendance. Is that the view of the Senate? We would like to also have the Minister of Defense in attendance. Is that the view of the Senate? We would like also to have the Minister of State Defense in attendance. Will that be the view of the Senate? We will also want the Minister of Police Affairs to be in attendance. Is that the view of the Senate? We would like to have the Minister of State Police Affairs in attendance. Is that the view of the Senate? In addition, we believe strongly that we should also have the Director General of NIA in attendance. Is that the view of the Senate?
With rampant kidnapping in some parts of the country, a civil society group, Save Nigeria Movement, has warned it will mobilize and occupy the National Assembly until appropriate actions are taken to check the situation. Lamenting the alarming proportion of insecurity in the country, the group has called on the National Assembly, especially the Senate, to act accordingly. Speaking during a peaceful rally on Tuesday in Abuja, the convener of the group, Reverend Solomon Semaka, urged the National Assembly to probe the alleged involvement of a high-ranking lawmaker in the kidnapping saga. He warned that failure to investigate the allegation would amount to complicity in insecurity and terrorism sponsorship.
The rising incidents of kidnapping and banditry in recent times, even in the Federal Capital Territory, is alarmingly worrisome. Members of the National Assembly cannot, therefore, afford to shy away from investigating their own and making their findings public. An unbiased and public investigation is needed to assuage the anxiety of Nigerians at this point in time. There is no gainsaying that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. The National Assembly must make concerted efforts to purge itself of that one member or members that has gone rogue and jettisoned his hallowed mandate of making laws and providing oversight functions by constituting himself into a national nuisance and security threat. The recent media reports and intelligence cannot be ignored at this material time. Nigerians need answers and solutions to the lingering insecurity. Mr. President has already given his word and has shown an unwavering commitment. The National Assembly must therefore play its part and help find the missing link. Allegations as grave as the involvement of a high-ranking senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in criminal syndicates, such as sponsoring insecurity, should embarrass every Nigerian.
The Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and his counterpart in the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, have assured Nigerians that the high cost of living experienced by citizens is currently being addressed. The ministers spoke when they appeared at the sectorial debate organized by the House of Representatives for the finance sector on the current cost of living at the National Assembly on Tuesday. Correspondent Chidi Igwe completes the story.
On the backdrop of recent protests over poor living conditions of Nigerians, the House of Representatives has invited the Ministers of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Oleyemi Kaduso, for a debate aimed to address the dwindling economic situation in the country. While fielding questions from the lawmakers, Edun attributed the hike in inflation and the cost of living crisis, including the removal of the much-debated fuel subsidy, to the series of reforms undertaken by the Tinubu-led administration. He mentioned that a lot was also being done in terms of agriculture and food production, which would help tame food inflation and overall headline inflation.
Food inflation accounts for 33% of the consumer price index. So when you attack food production, raise food production, you bring down the price of food, you bring down inflation, you get a chance to bring down interest rates, and there lies the road to investment.
In his earlier presentation, CBN Governor Yemi Kadoso, who had admitted that the concerns over the cost of living is genuine, assured the Apex Bank is working tirelessly to bring a lasting solution to the problem. He explained that the Apex Bank's bold reforms are underway across different segments of the economy, though initially challenging, are aimed to addressing these challenges sustainably.
It is expected that the policy measures implemented by the bank will permeate the economy in the short to medium term.
Just 1 more minute, sir.
Inflation pressures may persist, albeit temporarily, but are expected to moderate significantly by the fourth quarter of 2024. Exchange rate pressures are also expected to reduce with a smooth functioning of foreign exchange market.
On his part, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, reiterated President Tinubu's commitment to national development, adding that the president's reckoned with the challenges of the living conditions of the people.
We reckon with global challenges that are impacting us domestically, and we reckon with the transitional nature of some of the measures that we have taken. And we know that they will have some impacts.
Speaking after the questioning, Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who presided over this session, says, in the face of global economic shift and domestic challenges, it is clear that robust reforms measures are not just beneficial but imperative.
In the face of global economic shift and domestic challenges, it is clear that robust reform measures are not just beneficial but imperative. We are at a pivotal moment where the decisions we make and the policies we implement will impact the lives of millions of Nigerians. The reform we envisage should not only address the immediate needs, but also lay a foundation that is resilient with a dynamic framework that can adapt to future challenges and opportunities.
Kalu added the House is ready to confront the stark realities of the economy, fiscal and revenue challenges currently confronting the nation.
The House of Representatives has approved for second reading the Electoral Act Amendment Bill, which proposes that general elections be conducted on the same day to save money and time for the country, as well as prevent a bandwagon effect. The bill, titled Bill for an Act to Amend the Electoral Act 2022 and for Related Matters, was sponsored by Francis Wayev, a member representing Ughelli North, Ughelli South, Udu Federal Constituency, Delta State. The amendment also seeks to make electronic transmission of results compulsory and punish persons who file frivolous petitions with heavy fines to reduce the number of cases that would end up in court. The amendment is also expected to cause the electoral umpire to carry out fresh registration exercise for eligible voters. As part of its efforts to combat illicit drug production, trafficking and use, as well as curb-related organized crime, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says 15 drug kingpins out of 3,412 offenders who were convicted in 2023 have received a collective sentence of 168 years in prison. Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, announced this while revealing significant milestones achieved in the fight against drug trafficking and abuse. Marwa harped on the importance of awareness campaigns to prevent substance abuse, citing the agency's intensified War Against Drug Abuse WADA advocacy initiative. He further warned against disciplinary infractions, urging officers to uphold the agency's core values and standard operating procedures.
It is needless to say that 2023 was a good year in terms of our collective performance. According to our statistics, we recorded 13,664 arrests, leading to the seizure of 1,606,800 kilograms of assorted illicit drugs and 3,412 convictions, with a total of 5,570 offenders charged to court in 2023. It is indeed a year that at least 15 drug barons bagged 168 years of imprisonment collectively. That is a substantial improvement over our performance in 2022. Notably, in 2023, we also ramped up our enforcement action against cannabis farms and carried out at least 7 successful major operations, leading to the discovery and destruction of over 206 hectares of cannabis plantations.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has been criticized for its threat to clamp down on alcoholic beverage producing factories across the country. NAFDAC had cautioned sellers to desist from selling alcoholic beverages in sachets, small volume plastic and glass bottles from 100 milliliters and below, threatening to impose a ban. However, this move has drawn widespread criticisms from no fewer than 100 civil society groups. In a protest in Abuja tagged "Let the Poor Live," the groups described the policy as ill thought out and disconnected from the realities faced by ordinary citizens.
To unite against the leadership of Professor Modi Ade, we demand her immediate suspension from office. And we call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to act in national interest and suspend this woman before she do further damage to our economy. This woman must leave office in order to avert further damages caused by her ill-thought policy. Because if this policy is allowed to stand, it will no doubt lead to job losses and business closures. It is imperative that NAFDAC should be led by someone who prioritizes the real issues affecting our nation's health and economic stability.
we call in strong terms on the NAFDAC boss to return to the press, apologize to Nigerians, and resign the policy on the ban of beverages in small sachets and small bottles within 72 hours. Should she fail to this demand, we put it in clarion that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should sack her immediately.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. South Africa reacts to safety warning ahead of AFCON final, denies threats to Nigerians. Stay with us for details. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. The absence of the country's defense ministers and the national security advisor has stalled a briefing session between the Senate and military chiefs over the spike in insecurity in the country. The Senate had to adjourn the briefing to February 13, 2024, in a bid to accommodate everyone involved in the management of security in the country. We also told you that the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, and his counterpart in the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, Atiku Bagudu, have assured Nigerians that the high cost of living experienced by citizens is currently being addressed. The ministers spoke when they appeared at the sectoral debate organized by the House of Representatives for the finance sector and stakeholders on the current cost of living at the plenary in Abuja on Tuesday. Speaking after the questioning, Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who presided over the session, says in the face of global economic shifts and domestic challenges, robust reform measures are just not beneficial but imperative. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. Let's now join Okoyemi Owosheni, who's on standby with business news. Over to you, Okoyemi.
Thank you, Simisola. Hello and welcome to Business News. As the nation pushes to improve tax revenue, the Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Zaccheaus Adedeji, says the agency has recorded overperformance from VAT collection and company income tax. Adedeji discloses when he appeared at the sectorial debate organized by the House of Representatives for the finance sector. According to him, the agency has achieved 12.3 trillion more than the 10 trillion target set for 2023, thanks to the economic reforms taken by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The FIRS chairman says 19.2 trillion target for 2024 is also based on the agency's drive to accommodate more people into the tax system.
We have the target for this year, based on the approved budget, to collect 19.2 trillion, which is 7.2 trillion more than what we actually collected this year. And given this economic condition and with the promise of Mr. President that we are not going to introduce additional tax, we are not going to increase any tax, considering the situation and welfare of our people, that what we need to do is to re-strategize within to make sure that we bring more people into tax net. So without increasing the tax rate, that will be able to meet the targets.
We'll take a short break and be back with stock market reports. The stock market furthered its southward movement on the third weekday, leaving the market cap at 55.88 trillion naira. The market bet also ended on a negative note as 19 stocks advanced and 35 stocks declined. ICO Insurance came out last with an end-of-day depreciation price of 9.92%, closing at 1 naira 18 kobo per share, followed closely by Cadbury Nigeria, who closed at 21 naira 90 kobo per share. Now, at the end of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange (NGX), a total of 341 million volumes of shares were exchanged in 9,665 deals, corresponding to a market value of 6.405 billion naira were traded. Now, let's take a look at how our select foreign stocks are doing. It was a scheme case for our select global stock as the UK FTSE and Japan's Nikkei ended with the bears at 0.57% and 0.11%. However, US Dow Jones ended in a bullish trade at 0.38%. Well, that's it on both business and stock market reports. Back to you, Semi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Okoyemi, for the update. On the foreign scene, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has extended his warmest Lunar Year greetings to the global Chinese community in a video celebrating the Year of the Dragon. Guterres underscored that this year, the celebration at the United Nations is special as for the first time, the Lunar Year is part of the UN holiday calendar. He also expressed gratitude to China for its steadfast support of multilateralism.
Chun Jie Kwai Le. Happy Lunar New Year. I'm pleased to send my warmest greetings as we usher in the Year of the Dragon. The dragon symbolizes energy, wisdom, protection, and good luck. We need these qualities to rise to today's global challenges. This year, the celebration at the United Nations is special. For the first time, the Lunar New Year is part of the UN holiday calendar. I thank China and the Chinese people for your unwavering support to the United Nations, to multilateralism and global progress. Together, we can realize a sustainable, just and peaceful future. I wish you good health, happiness and prosperity in this new year. Xie xie.
Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Nollywood actor Kanayo Okanayo has advised Nigerian parents to look into their children's source of wealth to avoid dying young. The actor unveiled his message at an event which was shared on his Instagram account. In the video, Kanayo Okanayo directly addressed parents present at the event, emphasizing the need for a careful examination of their children's financial activities. He also pointed out the lack of curiosity about the origins of wealth in the children is a potential danger that some parents overlook. He stressed the importance of probing into the financial aspects of their children's lives to ensure their safety and well-being. Canadian rapper and singer Drake appears to be unbothered by the alleged leaked video that seemingly shows him engaging in a sexual act in his latest Instagram story. The rapper has been caught in a firestorm after what appeared to be a sex tape circulated X on Tuesday. Drake has responded to the leaked video by sending 8 laughing emojis, which indicates he's unbothered by the action. And that's it on the entertainment segment on News Now. Queen Ibanigo, TV360 News, Lagos.
And on sport, the South African Department of International Relations and Cooperation has said there are no possible threats on Nigerians living in or visiting the nation ahead of the CAF African Cup of Nations AFCON semi-finals match between both countries. Three-time Africa Cup of Nations champions Nigeria and one-time champion South Africa will renew their continental rivalry at the much-awaited semi-final of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire this evening when they lock horns in the crucial semi-final game of the tournament. The Super Eagles are the top-ranked team still playing in the AFCON, having defeated Bafana Bafana in each of their previous 3 AFCON encounters. Bafana Bafana, the 1996 winners, have already eliminated Morocco, the team with the highest ranking in Africa, and they will look to take revenge on Nigeria by making their first appearance in the last 4 since 2000, when they were defeated 2-0 by the Super Eagles. Our correspondent, Sydney Okafor, completes the story.
The crucial semi-final game is due to take place off in the northern Ivorian town of Bouaké. Goalkeeper Rowan Williams was the hero of South Africa after saving 4 penalties to secure a spot for the Bafana Bafana, who defeated Cape Verde 2-1 after a goalless 120 minutes to advance to their 4th AFCON semi-final. The Super Eagles had earlier secured passage to the semi-finals of the AFCON after a hard-fought 1-0 win over giant killers Angola, making it Nigeria's 16th appearance in the semi-final of the AFCON tournament. Despite this renewed rivalry, some sports analysts believe the game will be a walk in the park for the Super Eagles.
I don't see any reason why we should be discussing South Africa in the first place. First off, we have history behind us. About 11 games, they've lost 9. So that one apart, that's just history though. But I've seen South Africans play. They are more comfortable playing a team that has the midfield intact. They're coming from the midfield. We don't do that. We come from the wings. That will be a problem. And you look at the South African team and compared to the Super Eagles based on quality, character, the urge to want to win. South Africa don't have that much than we have. Should be thinking about who will meet in the finals now. I don't want to meet Cote d'Ivoire. But South Africa will not be as hard a test as Angola was. No.
With the CAF president from South Africa, there have been talks in some quarters that might count in favor of the Bafana Bafana. Some do think that would be irrelevant.
If it has to do with politics, Motsepe does not know how to play the politics than some other Africa. So let the players do their job on the field of play. No matter how well they play politics, there's no how you score a goal, a clear goal that the referee will rule out. Sometimes you play and you confuse the referee. Sometimes you play, you confuse the administrator. All you just need to do as a player, I'm talking about the Super Eagles right now, don't lose sleep, don't lose concentration, don't lose focus. The aim is the final, the target is the trophy.
Football fans say Josep Peseiro and his team's outstanding performance has singled them as the favourite to win the tournament.
South Africa as a team has never been a major threat to Nigerian football. If you look at the history between Nigeria and South Africa. So they have never posed a threat, and currently they are not posing any.
Bafana Bafana is not a challenge. For me, it's not a challenge. I'm already seeing the cup coming home. You understand? Going with even other motivational factors. Nigerian youth are strongly behind them. So we have all it takes. So we are bringing the cup home.
The Super Eagles coach has said his team will not take anything for granted and would play the game like a final. He has charged his players to be more efficient in converting their chances and leave nothing to chance in winning the game. Sydney Okafor, TV360, Lagos.
Well, that's our bulletin on News Now. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye for now.